This video was actually supposed to release a while ago, about 2 weeks after update 2.0, but I'm actually glad that it didn't, because with the release of update 2.1, CD Projekt Red went in and changed a few skills and nerfed a bunch of cyberware, so I had to rebuild my character based around these new changes, and it changed my DPS a little bit, as I'll show you right here. Taking a look at my stats, the major difference you'll see compared to the thumbnail is my crit chance has nearly been doubled. And at the cost of doing that, my headshot damage got reduced by 8%. It's not that noticeable during gameplay, and to show that this build is credible, I have nearly 155 hours on this save alone, with a grand total of 257 hours on Cyberpunk. Alright, starting off with our attributes, we're putting 20 points in cool, technical ability, and reflexes, and 18 points into body, leaving our intelligence at 3 because I wanted to represent my boy Beetlejuice out here. And I was too lazy to get the last point for the relic skill tree, but it doesn't matter, you can pretty much max it out during the DLC anyways. And for our skill progression, I've almost maxed these out, as well as collecting the additional skill points you can earn from it. But take note of Shinobi rank 60, Engineer rank 55, and then Solo ranks 50 and 55. I'll explain why later, but these will come very handy with building our character out. I also forgot to mention that I'll leave the build planner link down below, and for some reason in my game, I had 2 extra skill points than what the build planner allowed me to even put in. So I don't know why that happened, but keep that in mind. Okay, so starting off with cool, this is going to be where we're getting most of our damage for pistols, revolvers, precision rifles, and sniper rifles. And putting our first points into focus, so we can move up and then pick up Deadeye. And then maxing out that, we'll get Nerves of Tungsten Steel. Alright, starting off with Focus, which gives us increased headshot and weak spot damage, as well as no stamina cost when we ADS and shoot. Combining that with Head to Head, which gives us a reset on Focus's duration every time we neutralize an enemy, and then Deep Breath, which slows down time by 25% when we enter Focus. Now, above that, Deadeye, that gives us a further increase to headshot and weak spot damage, minus 25% stamina cost for shooting, and then a further increase to headshot and weak spot damage, as well as no bullet spread when hip firing. Now, Nerves of Tungsten Steel above that gives us a guaranteed chance for critical hits on headshots and weak spots, and increases damage as distance increases. Now, High Noon and Rinse and Reload I have just to give us a better reload speed. Alright, now moving on to technical ability. Everything that I spec'd into on the left side is to give us a better recharge speed for our currently equipped health item being the Blood Pump, while everything on the right is for making our tech weapons better by giving us bolt shots. They count as a fully charged shot and increased the damage as well. They work when you're charged about 50% of the way from a fully charged shot. Now, Internal Clock and Lightning Storm I have for when we're in a slowdown time state, being Sandevistan, or remember when we chose Focus, we picked up Deep Breath? That slows down time by 25% as well. Now, Internal Clock and Lightning Storm help us reach a bolt shot when time is slowed because it takes a little bit longer. Now, in skill progression, if you remember, rank 55 Engineer, that gives us more damage with bolt shots and gives us a 40% chance to apply a burn effect with a bolt shot. Now, the skill above bolts, called Chain Lightning, chains the bolt to other enemies and has a chance to electrocute them. So electrocution on top of burn, crazy damage. Now the entirety of the middle section is for increasing our cyberware capacity, and then I also chose the skill to give us another cyberware slot for our hands, so we can have 2. Lastly, we have Edge Runner. This allows us to go Cyber Psycho, giving us more damage, increased crit chance and crit damage, and plus a 3-second duration every time we neutralize an enemy while it's active. Moving on to reflexes, this is going to be where we'll be dumping most of our points. The entirety middle section is for increasing our movement speed and the ability to dash. Alright, for the right side, this is going to be for blades, Mantis blades, and katanas. Now, I had to max out lead and steel just so I can move up in the skill tree, but I don't find myself blocking bullets all too much, that's why I didn't get bullet deflect. Now, above that, we have Finisher Blade Runner, giving us a reduced stamina cost for attacking with blades and faster attack speed, unlocking finishers as well. Slaughterhouse gives us the chance to apply a bleeding effect, which makes enemies more susceptible to finishers. Opportunist makes enemies who are affected by bleeding even more susceptible to finishers. So combining these two gives us a good chance for hitting a finisher on an enemy. Now, Flash of Steel gives us an increased movement speed and attack speed after we hit a finisher on an enemy. Now down at the bottom we have Seeing Double and Mad Dash. Getting both of those gives us access to Flash and Thunderclap. When we do a charged attack with a blade weapon, we automatically leap to the nearest enemy, and depending on the distance from the enemy, our leap attack will do increased damage. Now onto the left side, we have Ready, Rested, Reloaded, giving us a reduction to stamina cost when shooting and a increased reload speed for ARs and SMGs. Now, Mind Over Matter giving us a reduction to recoil by 25%, and combining that with Submachine Gun Fun, increasing fire rate of SMGs by 22%. If we combine that with the SMG, the Problem Solver, which has a baseline 1000 RPM fire rate, we get a insane amount of DPS with this SMG. And even with the recoil reduction, we're still aiming to the moon with the recoil faster than Lucy can even get to the moon herself. On to our next perk, which is Sharpshooter, which gives us stamina regen rate and reduced stamina cost for our weapons every time we hit an enemy up to 7 times. Now, Practice Makes Perfect gives us increased crit damage and crit chance per stack, and Shoot to Chill gives us armor penetration per stack as well. Our next perk, our Capstone, Salt the Wound, this is crazy good. Every 7th shot that we hit on an enemy will deal the same amount of damage as our last 6 shots combined. Now this only works with ARs, unfortunately, not SMGs, or that would be really busted with the Problem Solver. Lastly, we'll be getting Gun Dancer and Aerial Acrobat, so we can get Air Kerenzikov. I only really got this just to extend Kerenzikov's duration while mid-air. Lastly, we're taking a look at Body. Everything I have at the bottom of this skill tree is just for passive health regen while in combat, and everything that we want to focus on in this skill tree is going to be above that. Now, Adrenaline Rush gives us a temporary secondary health bar every time we use a healing item. The perk to the right of that gives us a 3-second delay before adrenaline begins to decay, bars. Juggernaut gives us increased damage and movement speed while adrenaline is active. Unstoppable Force just makes us immune to non-damaging status effects while adrenaline is also active. Also, Solo rank 55 will make adrenaline decay 50% slower and not allow adrenaline to decay below 10%. Now, let's take a look at Cyberware. Our operating system is going to be the Militech Apogee Sandevistan. Why? Yes. Now, our first one in the frontal cortex is Axolotl. This will help us get our Sandy a hell of a lot faster. Kerenzikov boost system, so we can boost the effects of Kerenzikov and extend its duration. And Mechatronic Core, so we can do increased damage to mechs and robots by a fat 40%. In our arms section, I chose the Thermal Mantis Blades, because this gives us thermal damage on top of the bleeding effect that we get from our Capstone that we spend our skill point on in Blades. Next, we have Dense Marrow. This gives us increased melee damage at the cost of increasing our stamina, but that is negated because we also have Adrenaline Booster. This gives us stamina back every time we neutralize an enemy. Now, the Cyberware next to that is Riva Avis. This is just a nice increase to armor overall. Universal Booster gives us an increase to our armor and reduction to stamina cost every time we use a healing item. This can also stack multiple times. Kerenzikov allows us to slow down time whenever we ADS, dash, and dodge. Now, I didn't choose any of the skill points right here because Kerenzikov allows us to do these anyway. So this saves us skill points. Stabber gives us increased crit chance with all of our bladed weapons, and Deep Field Visual Interface gives us a 1% crit chance for every 1 meter we are away from an enemy, up to 100. Now, Optical Camo should be a staple in every build in my opinion. Chitin, this gives us a nice armor increase, and Pain Deucer converts 30% of the damage that we take into damage over time. Moving on, we have the Reinforced Tendons. This allows me to double jump so I can get around easier, and the Blood Pump is going to be our main healing item. This is the best healing item in the entire game. Now, Micro Rotors gives us a nice 25% increase to our melee attack speed, and I already went over Adrenaline Booster, so I don't need to go over it again. Smart Link is going to allow us to use our smart targeting in our smart weapons and increases crit damage too. Our second slot, if I ever get enough capacity, is Micro Generator. Unfortunately, it was one of the ones that got nerfed, but it's still pretty good. Now we have the Kuroshi Cockatrice Optics. This gives us a fat 30% increase to our crit chance, and the Behavioral Imprint is just one from the DLC. Now on my inventory, my clothing doesn't have very noticeable stat increases. I don't have anything on my boots or my pants. But my optic has a increased quick hack upload time. I don't know if it works with the Erebus, but that's why I have it. I have armor increase, reload time reduction, and quick hack damage reduction in case I'm being quick hacked by someone on Maxtac. Moving on to weapons, if you don't have any of the DLC, this is going to be your main loadout. For our pistol, we're using the Malorian Arms 3516, our precision rifle is going to be the Widowmaker, and the katana is going to be the Bayako. This is the best katana in the entire game, and it's going to be our main Maxtac destroyer. Moving on, we have the Bazing Chong. This is the best shotgun in the game, Comrade's Hammer, Problem Solver, the Erebus, the infamous Umbra X Mod 2 with the Firecracker attachment. For the secondary slot, I want to get the Big Mag mod, but I haven't found a legendary one yet. Moving on, we have the Chesapeake SMG, the Divided We Stand, the Hercules 3AX, really good smart assault rifle. We have Her Majesty, the Hawk, the Bald Eagle, which is a really good revolver, but it's also a pistol, La Chingona Dorada, Breakthrough, and we also have Archangel, the Rasetsu, and lastly, the Borzea. Before we move on, I just want to mention, if we combine the Breakthrough, which has a 300% headshot damage multiplier, with the Headhunter, which gives us an additional 200%, and we hit a Bolt Shot, we'll be doing crazy amounts of damage.
Fucking firefight!
And for our last two katanas, we have the Jinchumaru and the Scalpel. With the Jinchumaru, if we go invisible using our optical camo, every single attack that we do will be a guaranteed critical hit. And for the Scalpel, whenever we enter Sandevistan, with this weapon we gain increased crit chance by 50%, and if we combine it with Shinobi rank 60, that gives us an additional 40%. Combining that with our passives, this goes well above 100% crit chance while in Sandevistan with this katana. Now, I'm going to end the video showing some Maxtac gameplay. I personally play on hard because it's just the best balance that I find for myself, and this video took me such a long time to make, you have no idea. And if you have any comments, do let me know. I'll try to respond to them as fast as I can. Till next time, I'ma head out.
Give her hell!